right. Hello. Welcome to Evil Popcorn. I am Scream Queen. We are talking about new horror release, A Memory. And I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts. Da, da, da.
Yes, hello, this is Mr. Popcorn. I didn't have any imaginary toys when I was young, but I did kind of make myself imaginary because I like to pretend I was a spider by standing on top of shelves so I could get up to the corner of, the roof, of the ceiling, and I would do it in closets as well. Yes, my parents would often find me when they'd open up a closet door. Yeah, I'd be hanging off the thing there.
Okay. Anything from your childhood that you need to reveal?
Nightmarish.
There is not enough time, Darren. There is truly not enough time. What about you? What was going on in your childhood, Darren?
I've nothing quite so spidery, I'm afraid. I had a little plush green sort of Beanie Baby style frog. I think his name was Froggy. Very
Classic.
Froggy.
imaginative.
That's cute. Yeah, I like it.
I used to tell him all my secrets. So yeah, so Froggy, the frog was my secret keeper, I suppose. Yeah.
Hello, mortals. I am the Bat, and when I was younger, I had an imaginary dog that would follow me around when I would go on walks. I never gave it a name, but it was just there following me.
Fun. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We have
Yes,
a
absolutely.
special guest here today. Um, I don't really remember having any imaginary friends, but I don't know the Swedish pronunciation, but I do not care to find out. Now,
Uh,
I said today we are talking about imaginary. Here, it's directed and produced by Jeff Wadlow, who you may know from Truth or Dare, to a few things. It was also co-produced or by Jason Blum through Blumhouse, who we know very well in the horror universe, and co-written by, of course, Wadlow wrote it, Greg Erb, Jason Ormland, who work as a pair quite often, like on movies like Princess and the Frog, Disney classic there, which I found quite interesting.
hmm.
Now, what were our general impressions of this film? Baron, I'll start with you.
General impressions. I quite enjoyed it. I was entertained. I liked the world. I liked that it was technically proficient. Like at no point was I taken out of the film by anything filmmaking related. There's some really nice. I've had a look at since. There's some really nice stuff that they sort of folded into the film that I think people will appreciate. I might sort of run through that later. I didn't catch any particular studio fuckery. The the worst I could say about this film is it's very plain and probably could have just been a streaming movie, but I'm not bemoaning the fact that I went to see it at the cinema.
Nice, nice. Um,
Lovely.
I don't quite share the same appreciation, love. I don't hate this movie. This movie has enough hate thrown towards it online. You know, people go easy. These are just people trying to make movies within a system because they have to make it within a system because it makes money. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still called show business. And that's not excusing bad
Mm.
filmmaking because this isn't bad filmmaking. It's underdeveloped, yes, is what I'll say at this point. But I didn't dislike it. I had a fun time with it because I allowed myself to have a fun time with it because it's still going to the movies. It's meant to be fun. And this movie is fun. It is about a spooky imaginary toy.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to it because I love that concept. I do love that concept. Before I finish there, Scream Queen, I'd be remiss not to shout out Richard Warman of Faith Nightclub Brisbane, Christian Fletcher of Christian Fletcher Events, Both, icons, superstars here in Brisbane. Thank you for the tickets. Thank you for what you do. To our guests, thank you for joining us. Ken's came and saw Imaginary with us. Appreciate that. And that's why, I had to bring you on today. Thank you for coming on. What did you think, generally speaking?
Oh, thank you for having me.
Most welcome.
Yeah. Well, my general thoughts of the movie is that I really enjoyed that it was a concept that I had personally never seen before. Who knows, maybe there is another movie that does the same thing, but I found it very refreshing to see the concept of imaginary friends having a greater power and being evil. I thought that was very fun. However, my one critique was I just wish that there was a little bit more action and a little bit more horror within the movie. I did feel at some points it got a little bit tame.
Yes, agreed. What was the rating on this? Was this PG-13?
Totally.
Scream Queen?
It's PG.
PG-13.
Yeah, it's PG-13.
Yeah, it is.
Which
It
has
very
been
much is.
a sort of theme in the recent Blumhouse horrors that have come out. Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know what Nightswim was rated.
That's
I'm pretty sure that was a PG-13 as well.
Yeah,
you could show your 12-year-old, it's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Which it
if they're
seems
thus
strange
inclined.
to me.
Well, they're trying to break into a more broader market. They're trying to make more money. It's kind of, it's not Disneyfying, maybe a bit harsh, but they're trying to reach a younger crowd because that's your biggest market. Yeah. A little bit. Because this has been a run of.
Yeah, it's worth
none
mentioning
of these
that
movies have been stellar. Yeah, sorry, not to rant.
Yeah. No. So I was just gonna say that the director did say this movie was inspired by films like Poltergeist, and Pan's Labyrinth was even one that he threw in there, which I thought was interesting. Obviously, that's very Pan's Labyrinth is pretty horrific in parts, but I guess it is a family film to an extent.
In effect, yes.
Yeah. In a way.
Love that film.
But it's so great. It's so great. My personal feelings about the film, I guess, sort of similar to sort of sentiments you guys have said. Like, I didn't love it. I was a little bit disappointed, I guess, going in, but it's not necessarily this film that I feel is the problem. Like, it's a fun film. Like Ken said, the concept is very original, and I think people have no issue with the concept of the film because it's very imaginative, and it just sort of thinks outside the box. But I do sense a running theme with Blumhouse with these PG-13 movies sort of don't really give the audiences what they want when they're going to see a new horror release. Was lacking a little bit of that scare factor, gore, a little bit dumbed down. I would even be so bold to say. So yeah, that's sort of how I feel about it. I
Question to the pod. We've all seen, to less or larger extents, we've seen the Insidious movies, the Conjurings, the Sinisters, the Purges. The movies that gave Blumhouse, however you want to say it, their name. And we're seeing this run of movies now. Are we sounding old in terms of Blumhouse years? Do we still have that expectation? Is this literally nostalgia that we're feeling for Blumhouse? Whoever wants to go first, if anyone.
I wouldn't say necessarily, because you think about Megan, which came out like super recently.
Megan's a
I
big part
loved
of this.
that movie. I
but
thought it
that's
was
a big part of this run. Please.
yeah,
after you.
yeah, and it's on the poster, like from the creators of Five Nights, which is their highest grossing film, I think.
Yeah.
Which had a lot of issues.
Ah,
Personally, I'm not going to get into that because that's not what this episode is about. But again, it's like that pattern that we're seeing. But Megan, I think, it stands alone in the fact that it was a very successful satire, and like this film had a sort of a similar production quality, like you said, Baron. It's high quality filmmaking in it, technically it's well made. But Megan actually follows through on the scares, on the gore, like it doesn't take itself seriously. Something that I noticed sort of with these films that people are sort of shitting on a little bit online on Letterboxd, especially people are cruel. um, but there's this sort of running thing of the film, like it's just so unnecessarily serious for what it is. And I that might seem like the opposite of what this movie about children's imaginary friends is like, but I genuinely, I think it's like, it's such a fun concept, and it just didn't have levity of like that maybe it needed to make it a little bit more successful, more widely loved by audiences, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kens, if you want to speak, if you have got, want to jump in any time, just shout out, yeah, because we can't see you, so just jump in, yeah. But what?
Yeah, of course.
Question, like with the Five Nights at Freddy's, I was interested in your thoughts there, because that was a big movie for you and your friends, yes, because Insidious and such things, they're not old, but they're a few years ago now. And Five Nights at Freddy, because I forgot that was a Blumhouse movie, and that did very well for them. And Megan it's a very good point as well, because that was a January release, and that's where they dump the whatever movies, you know what I mean, just to reach the quota. Yeah, but that was a surprise hit, and you get the feeling, because these are kind of young adult horror, YA horror, yeah. Baghead, this Nightswim, but Five Nights at Freddy's was a big one. Yeah, how does the question, I guess, is how did this run compare to Five Nights at Freddy's? What was the impact of Five Nights at Freddy's, etc., for you, Kens? If you wanted to speak on that, please.
Well, I am very biased towards Five Nights at Freddy's, but that was because I grew up with the games.
Yeah, exactly.
However, I can say, as biased as I am, there were a few moments where I feel like I would use the term that I was let down, because, as said before, it did feel like it was targeted towards a younger generation. So I know that there were quite a few people going into the cinema, once again, expecting a bit of gore, a bit of horror, and it just felt like it was all toned down quite a bit.
So they're really not meeting the expectations of their audiences at all, because we've got a variety of ages. Yeah, and reference points for Blumhouse, etc. here, and they can't. Yeah. Sorry, Sarah, Scream Queen. I'll shut up. Back to you. I was just curious there. Thank you, Kens.
No. I'm interested. I felt similarly about the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. Like, yes, it was fun because I love the franchise. We're a letdown, and I would say similar things about this film, because the trailer seems great conceptually. It's great. There are just a few things that, again, you can't really. The 13 rating is a little limiting, but I do understand
Yeah.
as a studio, as producers, like trying to, you know, make things more accessible to younger audiences and things like that. Baron, did you have any thoughts about the sort of beast that is Blumhouse and the movies that have made them famous and audience expectations?
I feel like they're heading towards trying to appease the widest common denominator with the PG-13 films. I've been trying to find what the actual rating of Baghead was, but it doesn't seem to have a rating in Australia. But out of the 3 films we've seen now, Imaginary, Baghead, Nightswim, they've all been that kind of PG-13 feeling. They've been going for the family audience. There's been less gore. There's been less pushing of the envelope. Having said that, Imaginary felt to me the least interfered with. So it didn't feel like there were chunks missing from it.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't catch any egregious edits where they've gone, we've taken out this piece of story because that would have been a bit frightening for the kiddies. I think that might have something to do with the writing. Maybe the writing on this was aimed more at YA than perhaps Baghead was or Nightswim was.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I get you. I
well,
get you.
the director, I was reading an interview and he was sort of saying that a lot of the stuff that he's written or a lot of horror that he's seen recently relies a lot on, like, you know, fast-paced cuts and like go and that sort of thing. And in this movie, he wanted to sort of get comfortable with slowness and just like slowing things down and really like slowing down the story and like that. And it does feel like that, whether that's a good thing or not. It does feel like something that has happened. And I guess it's interesting to try, like, sorry, go
I was
ahead.
going to say, just to draw a comparison to something with a similar theme, there is an episode of Supernatural, season 11, episode 8, called Just My Imagination. The précis of that is Sam is shocked when his imaginary childhood friend Sully makes an unexpected reappearance. Sam tries to understand why he's seeing Sully now. Even more surprising, Dean can see him too. In this particular episode, there's some creature or some person going around killing imaginary friends. And this was an episode of TV on the CW. There was more gore in the Supernatural episode than there was in the Imaginary film. And there's probably more horror in the Supernatural episode than there was in Imaginary the film.
Interesting.
So it could be a thing now where they're trying to be more appealing to a wider audience rather than just horror heads.
Yeah, I think that's it, really. What do you
and
reckon?
look, like in the theater. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I agree.
Kids. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, theater, like at towards the beginning of the film, there were some genuinely like freaky, a little bit spooky moments to start off. I think the horror definitely like slowed down towards the end as they were like getting more into the meat of the plot. But like the cold open was pretty like, oh, okay, we're in it. And I do appreciate when horror films do that. They're like, beasties are coming at the main characters. Ooh, why? Let's skip back. I like that. I think it's fun. That of course was a nightmare, but
got to be more careful with the trailers because they showed their best jump scare in the trailer.
That was the second trailer. So the first trailer was played with Five Nights at Freddy's. And it was basically a black screen just with soundscape over it. And apparently it was super creepy.
Yeah. I mean, no, the fruit of a very creepy thing is there. You know, maybe it's a little bit of me with PG-13. Yeah, because you can make PG-13 darker than what they've been doing and more bloody and violent. You know, you can get away with it. I know you're not going to have the Ghostbusters like we grew up on there, Baron, that sort of thing going on, and Gateway Supernatural. Excellent. For those listening, Baron's got the merch there.
Oh yeah, sorry. Queensland Ghostbusters sticker. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah. I think I'm just being nostalgic because Sinister was dark as fuck. Yeah, remember those children? Yeah, Conjuring was spooky as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yep.
mm.
Yep.
And you can make these PG-13
So did it?
movies more darker. Sorry, just 1 minute. More darker rather than a
You're
whole
right.
bunch of exposition littered with a few spooks here and there. Yeah, that's the negative on the, but flip side of that with the positive, once they actually go into the imaginary, if you will. It was cool. Yeah, I grew up with the Labyrinth. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did that specifically. Like it's noted that when Jessica Taylor and Gloria, when they go to the Never Ever world looking for Alice, there's a whole there's a cool panoramic shot of the kind of weird MC Escher, that sort of world with all the stairwells. And I remember sitting there and humming under my breath, "You remind me of the Babe." What Babe?
Yeah.
The Babe with the Power, because it was very much like Labyrinth.
Absolutely.
That Labyrinth moment. But the director has said that was a definite choice that they made for the visual inspiration to both worlds.
Okay. Well,
I said
shout
this
out.
as we were leaving the cinema, that I do wish that they spent more time in that imaginary realm.
Yes, less exposition, more of that. Yeah, the concept, the creation. Yes, itself, definitely. We don't need much.
Yeah.
It's a spook. Okay, it's an imaginary friend that goes evil. Let's go.
Yeah.
Screen print.
Did anyone else catch? I was going to say, did anyone else catch the other classic horror movie reference?
It's been
No?
3 or so, but please remind me.
With an imaginary villain. The house was on Elm Street in Springfield. Springwood.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
there's love put into this film. As a positive, I'll definitely get it. And there was, and other movies that we've seen this year, there has not been so much. And they did with everyone who was involved in this film, and certainly the people behind creating the concept, they dug it, and that's that was transferred. Generally speaking, essentially speaking.
I think I saw a quote from the creators just being like, the movie that wrote, the movie that we drafted, like, is the movie that it is, which I don't think a lot of creatives can say that about the projects that they make. So that's a pretty big feat, I would say, to like write something and then have that be a faithful representation of the thing that you created to begin with. So that's pretty cool.
Well done.
But I think maybe the character of Gloria was a little bit unnecessary.
Who was Gloria?
I think
Remind
maybe
me.
we could have just. She was the neighbor. She was the babysitter. That was.
She made me
Jessica's
laugh,
old. Yeah.
Yeah, when she went manic.
She was funny.
But unnecessary.
But I
totally
do think there's a lot of stuff that we learned from her that we could learn. From like, the Bat said, if we spent more time in the Never Ever, we could have learned the stuff that Gloria told us. Anyway, I think that there's a little bit, I think, again, a lot of the frustration from people watching this film is like, movies are beginning not to trust their audiences a lot, I think. And I don't know if this is like because of, the internet is becoming such a huge thing, and TikTok and AI and stuff. Like, movies just assume that audiences just like don't understand things anymore. But I feel like there's a lot of spoon feeding that could just be cut out and make a lot of films coming out a lot better. Even movies I
Yeah.
like do that as well.
And things, all the films that I seem to need to have a point of view character that you need to feel for. If you go back and look at things, I think you look at The Thing, all of those dudes in that Antarctic research station, they were all dickheads. Like, none of them were good people. You didn't want to be any of them. I mean, you kind of maybe wanted to be Kurt Russell's character because you were pretty sure he was going to survive, but that was about the extent of it. Like, they were all broken people that had no, there was very little positive about them. But nowadays films seem to need to have the hero that you attach to so that you feel good about yourself when you've left the film.
Yeah, some movies have tried to not have, likable protagonist or cast in general, ensemble in general. They get a lot of flack for it, though. Get shot down a lot for it. That was one of the biggest criticisms of the new Hellraiser movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, go back and look at the originals. I mean, it's the main character, but most of the film is focused on some of the worst people you could ever imagine, Frank and Julia. Anyway, not to digress, but still glad I saw it though. This movie, still worth seeing. It is worth seeing. Definitely worth going to see.
I'll probably watch it again.
Cool. It will come on streaming, no doubt. Definitely check it out on streaming if you can't catch it at the cinema.
I enjoyed the monster design. The creature design was really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was almost a werewolf for a bit. I went in the bear, almost
True.
a werewolf.
Yeah.
Does this film need a werewolf? Do we think?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And that labyrinth land, if a werewolf came running up like from along the roof and shit.
What we want to see in the sequel is two imaginary friends having a fight, and one of them's the bear and one of them's a werewolf.
I do want to see monsters fight each other. I do want to see other people's imaginary friends, sort of like Monsters Inc.
There you go, Blumhouse. There's some material for you.
There you go. It's I guess those doors, they got the hanging doors,
Oh, Sully versus Chauncey.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did think oh no, that's kind of a spoiler. We're trying to avoid spoilers.
We're trying to avoid spoilers.
Are there any like particular moments, spoiler-free moments, that stood out to you or that we really enjoyed? Any sort of scares without going into too much detail?
The boy from next door locking himself in his room, like just looking out the street and just closing the shutters.
In my opinion, he was the funniest character in that movie. He was my favorite.
I thought he was great. Like, really believable. Like, just the fear of it, and also being like, he's tripping, but it's actually just his mum allergy pills. I thought that was really funny. I know that actor. I was like, immediately when I saw it, huge musical theater nerd. I love horror, but also I'm like, my favorite things are on the other end of that spectrum as well. And he is in High School the Musical, the series. And he's great in that. So I was very excited to see someone from a Disney show in this horror film. So it's Disney-fied in that way, I guess.
There we go. There we go. The conspiracy is true.
Full circle.
Do we
Mr. Popcorn, did you have any moments that you think are worth sort of?
Yeah, of course. For a moment I was struggling to think, but then I looked at the screen here, the listeners, and yes, let's just say it's a magic door. If you're listening, viewers, you can see what I'm looking at there, children. I enjoyed that moment. Again, the imaginative qualities, aspects of this film There's quite a few standout moments, and I love a magical door. Yeah. I once did a play where we are on a flat. Yeah, we've all done
Yeah.
theatre to some degree. We all know what a theatre flat is, and just drew it with chalk, and then the doorknob, and then knocked 3 times. Yeah, love that shit. Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah.
this moment, yeah, was a great moment like that. Yeah, so I'll give it to that one there, Scream Queen, my top moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. The Bat, do you have any moments that you want to highlight from the film?
Well, the moment that was my favorite, I won't say because I truly don't know how to describe it without giving away a huge spoiler. So I will settle for my favorite moment was actually featured in the trailer where the girl is trapped in the room with the light features where we get to see Chauncey's werewolf looking form, what I think was the first time.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
probably my favorite moment because it made me feel genuine stress.
Yeah, I totally agree. I loved that moment. Just the and it took its time to
Yeah.
do the scare,
It had that
which I thought was clever.
And they could push that even more.
Yeah.
If you're going to do these style of movies, yeah, push those aspects, those moments, yeah, even more, yeah. Because for your older crowd, your more bloodthirsty, gore-hungry crowd, that appeases, that still appeases. That will keep us coming back and watching and rewatching these films, yeah.
Yeah, and again, we could have gotten that if we'd spent more time sort of in that Never Ever world. They definitely could have. It could have been like, it sort of reminded me loosely, and I know this is probably very fresh in the Baron's mind, of Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
And the sort of glass boxes.
Yeah.
And like what's that, the different doors. We sort of got like a little taste, but like again, could have had some more. Yeah, I really loved the, now I've forgotten what the moment that I was gonna say. I really like the teddy bear, the Chauncey little special effect makeup moment. I thought it was fun and pretty creepy. You'll find out more what that's about if you watch the movie. But it felt very Coraline to me, and I love that movie. So I thought that was a fun little tie-in.
But just for anyone that isn't aware and it doesn't follow me yet on Letterboxd, on the weekend I rewatched Cabin in the Woods, which is what Scream Queen is alluding to. With that in mind, there's a couple of interesting reviews on Letterboxd for Imaginary. We've got Ted would have fucked Chauncey up. It's called Imaginary because you have to use your imagination to pretend it's good. Imagine me dragging my nuts across your face.
That was my favorite.
Look,
it's an art unto itself. I said it before. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Look, you open yourself up to criticism, you're gonna get it.
It's the internet, man. What can you do?
The edgy reviews. I think my favorite though is it sure is.
Yeah, good.
So,
I mean, I saw a lot of people talking about the mention of Bing Bong from the movie Inside Out. That did feel very jarring to me.
Yeah.
It felt like one of these inside jokes that maybe the writers had together and they were like, let's leave it in. And it's just, it never gets written out of the final draft. That's sort of how it felt to me.
That shit's been happening.
It felt
since
very
Disney.
strange. Yeah. Look, I get sometimes you have to name the thing that people are going to associate your film with. They're going to be like, oh, it's about imaginary friends. Maybe Inside Out. Ooh la la. So they're like, yeah, we just name it and then it's out there. We've addressed it. So I get it, but it did felt very bizarre. Like just watching it.
Oh, have we lost Scream
Yeah,
Queen?
it's not just me. Yeah, we've lost Scream Queen. Okay. All right. I'll use this moment to vamp them because off air, I was going to say their children. I was going to run through 10 Australian films coming out this year. Pending on time, I will focus primarily on Wolf Creek 3, it says is coming out this year. First time I'm looking at it. We'll call this a live reaction. Murderous Mick Taylor returns to do more damage to the tourism industry. This is on flix.com.au that I'm reading this off. Yes, he returns to do damage to the tourism industry as he carves his way through whatever tourists are unfortunate enough to cross his path. Rachel Miggins, parenthesis, Deadhouse Dark, takes the directing reins from franchise founder Greg McLean for this one, which sees our man Mick hunting an American family across the outback, of course, with predictably gory results. Mila Fitzgerald, Hutch Dano, and Gok Dennis, I am so sorry. Have a look online. I'm not going to try any further. On the chopping block, while Aussie acting legend John Jarrett once again essays the homicidal. Is that correct? Yes. Essays the homicidal Ocker we've come to know and love. Essays. Baron, are you reading that?
Where are we looking at?
Flix.com.au. Flix.com.au. I put the link in the chat. It's not a big thing, but point being,
Okay, let me.
Wolf Creek 3, they say, is going to come out this year. Do you like? What's your feelings on Wolf Creek? Could you care less, or are you excited about this one, Ken? Sorry, the Bat. My apologies.
Well, I've only ever seen the first Wolf Creek, and I did really enjoy that. I like because I am a fan of gore and slashes, so obviously I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
The second one I haven't seen, so I'm not able to give my opinion on it, but I will do my best to watch the second movie before the third one comes out because I would really like to see it.
It's good if you like the first one. Absolutely, it is more of the same thing, a bit more ramped up. If that's fair to say, Baron. I don't know if you've seen it at all.
Yeah, no, I quite enjoyed the Wolf Creek films. The word you were looking at there, I believe, was ensues.
Is that what's
Nightmare
written on your one?
ensues.
Hold on. Let me just go back to
Yeah.
where I was. Because I have here, Jarrett once again essays the homicidal Ocker. That's at the bottom of the paragraph. ESSAYS. I know ensues.
Yeah, no, no, you've got essays. Yes,
It's essays. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
you're right. It is essays.
I've never heard it used in that way. Yeah.
I've had the opportunity a couple of times.
Please.
Okay. I've had the opportunity a couple of times to host John Jarrett at Supernova. He's an interesting chap who has some very strong opinions about the Australian film industry, which is appreciated. And he'll be back again for Supernova Gold Coast, which is coming up.
Yes, we'll do our best, children.
But I'm keen to see it. It's very much in the vein of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. I like those kind of films, and that I think is the genetics of Wolf Creek.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that the original creators did have the intention of creating, an Australian Jason Freddy, a slasher for the Pantheon, which I think they pretty much did. Yes, yeah, the Americans definitely know Mick Taylor. I've been in a few, hostels, traveling around New Zealand in my time, and I've gone into what would you call it, the lounge, TV room, whatever, and they're watching Wolf Creek, and I just walk in laughing, and then they go, "Does this really happen? Will this happen to us when we go out into the middle?" Because they were going out and to see Ayers Rock, I think, at the time. And so I just said, yes, it happens quite a few times a year. Just left because, funny. All right, so I got a message from the Scream Queen. It's on death's door, so there's no knowing if I'll be able to get it going. Yeah, okay. Okay, Scream Queen's having big issues. Well, we've talked about imaginary.
Yeah,
we should
we
definitely
did what we set out to do.
Yeah. Talked about Wolf Creek there. Just have a look on flicks.com.au. I'll put the link up on Facebook there, people. So follow us at Evil Popcorn Pod. That's at Evil Popcorn Pod at and Google the so let me start that again. At Evil Popcorn Pod, Evil Popcorn Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Do you have any plugs or anything, Baron?
Supernova's coming up. I'll be there if you want to see me work as an MC. This week is the premiere of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Thankfully, cool. The Queensland Ghostbusters have been asked by Sony Pictures to be at the Brisbane premiere on Wednesday night, this week, Wednesday the 20th at Garden City. So we'll be there in costume. I believe there's going to be about 20-ish people there in full Ghostbuster outfit with all the gear. So that'll be fun. Usual plugs for Improv Queensland and Act React. And I'm doing a podcast. It's called Evil Popcorn.
Yes. Check it out.
I should just give that a plug. Evil Corp, the escape rooms that you do, Gene.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, yes. Mr. Popcorn.
All good.
Got to get around that somehow. But yeah, no, keep listening. We've got some interesting stuff coming up. A nice little interview we did the other day.
Yes.
So sizzle.
Yes,
pop,
I will.
Pop.
We'll say what it is now, because it's going to come out very, very soon. Once you have heard this, it's pretty much out, so do have a look.
Okay.
It is, yes, thank you. We'll be formal about this because it was a great opportunity. We got to interview the director of Baghead, Alberto Corredor. He lives in the UK. Shout out to Studio Canal. Let me just please bring up their name. Tassine Hasenta or Hasenta Tassine. I'm not sure how it's, worded, how it's placed, but yeah, the rep who, I kindly asked Alberto Corredor because he gave us a wonderful shout out on Instagram for our review of it. Check out our episode. Kindly asked him, may I be so bold for an interview? And he said yes. And Haseen there, facilitated the whole thing, and we woke up at 7. I woke up at 7:30 in the morning here. Well, 6, 7, whatever it was for you there, Baron. And to interview the other man at 7:30, and so check it out. It's short and sweet, and we were really chuffed with it. Really chuffed with it. That was great. And from my end, yes, definitely Evil Corp. Come check us out because we're doing more stuff. Friday is a thing now, a definite thing with the tarot reading. I'm not sure how confirmed this is, so I'll just say this is in pencil, but I've seen Instagram posts saying the bar is looking to go from Wednesday to Saturday coming up in the future. So it's becoming an actual fixture of Fortitude Valley. And as I've said before, because I heard some horror stories of stuff that happens in the valley. It's a safe space, even if you're not into spooky stuff. It's a safe space. And we won't bat an eyelid except just to welcome you in. And that's it.
Wednesday night game night.
Yes. Shout out Olive. Talk to me, episode 1. And she put it together and it looks great. Check it out. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing down there. Dungeons and Dragons, of course, is a thing of it, being the board game.
Well, last
Baron,
time there were some board games. I went along. There were some board games being played.
Cool.
I'd taken along some gear to run a Marvel superheroes role-playing game, but people were more interested in the board games. Boo. Boo to you, boo. No, come along. Play the board games. I believe there will be a lean towards tabletop RPG going forward as well.
Fantastic. I want to take my shout out Bridie Noonan. Didn't have to, but she bought me. I'll bring it because Scream Queen's laptop is turning on. So yeah.
Oh, she's in the waiting room. She's in the waiting room.
She's in the way. Oh, okay, cool. All right. This has been an adventure.
While we're letting
It's been an
while
adventure.
we're letting Scream Queen in, Kenzie,
Yeah.
did you have anything you needed to plug?
Yes.
I don't really have anything to plug other than go visit Evil Corp, even Escape Manor, all very fun if you like creepy things. But yeah, I don't have anything else to plug really.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank you for
right.
coming on.
We're
Thank
at
you for coming on.
Yeah, it was great to have you.
There we are. Okay. Oh, it's tricky
No.
with the green screen. That coming
saw
in and out of the screen.
Oh,
It's the horror trip. Yeah,
Trivial
there.
Pursuit.
Yes.
Yep,
I was
there
thinking
we
about
go.
bringing this down to the game night one.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Seeing how it goes. Yeah. Welcome back, Screen Queen.
Thank you. Thanks. I just had a power outage that was really scary.
Oh shit.
I'm not a fan of the dark, and everything just turned off. So that was really fun. I was just like screaming for my partner, just like, please come help me.
Blumhouse, we
but-
still like you.
Yeah.
Please don't end
that was
us.
that was a PG-13. Yeah.
Do some
that was
adult
good.
stuff. Do some older people's stuff as well as the YA stuff. Come on.
For sure.
Where were we up to?
You guys were doing
Plugs.
plugs.
Plugs, that's right, plugs. Shout out Evil Corp, as always, Seraphim, Escape Room and Ipswich. And we've done the social media. What about you, Scream Queen? What's
I
happening?
actually do have a little something coming up.
Ooh.
Very exciting. I usually have nothing going on, but I do have something going on. I don't know if I announce it yet, but it got some writing stuff happening that I'm sure you will learn all about. A few sort of readings and in progress showings and fun things like that coming up. So yeah,
Fantastic.
very
That's
excited.
exciting. That's very cool. That's very cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, the Bat. Fuck. The Bat for joining us this evening for coming to Imaginary.
Yeah,
Initially,
thank you so
welcome back.
much.
Welcome back anytime.
Yes, thank you for
Please.
having me.
100%.
Absolutely. Also, Horror Iceberg there, talking about more adult content. We're still on the Gateway tier. Myself and Dorian, they will be coming up with their own name, etc. soon. We have covered Ju-on the Grudge, and we have done Ringu, if you will. So the J horror section of the Gateway tier, the first level of the iceberg horror is done. We're going into the Wan-overse. Next, James Wan, and there's three. What I'll say is we're starting off with Annabelle. Yeah, we're going to try and make this a weekly thing to get through the tier. And if you're after movie recommendations, myself and Dorian spent about an hour just going through, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Yeah, we went through watch lists and then we just spent an hour recommending movies to each other. So if you need something to
Love
watch,
that.
definitely check that out. Yeah. Back to you though, Scream Queen, please. This is your show.
Speaking of recommendations, I don't know if we've already done this. I was MIA for a little bit. But do we have any recommendation?
Ooh.
Horror or otherwise?
I really enjoyed Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown.
Interesting, because I've heard quite the opposite.
What is that?
Okay.
What is that?
It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original movie based on a book where Millie Bobby Brown plays a princess, in inverted commas, that is fed to a dragon by an evil queen.
Princess Buttercup.
And she's a bit Yeah, she's a bit of an ass kicker, actually.
Uh-huh.
It's better than it has any right to be.
Okay, I hear you. What was that young Sherlock
Millie Bobby Brown
Holmes
plays an
thing she
amazing
did?
character.
Mhm.
Enola Holmes.
Enola Holmes, thank you. She was kind of kick-ass in that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, she has an ability
yeah,
to do that,
yeah,
to
yeah.
get to make things
The
better than
writing,
they should be. Yeah.
the writing's really good. She plays a really good, strong character. There's good decisions for why she is the way she is in the film. The creature design is amazing. The guy that does the dragon design in it was Patrick Tatopoulos, who also gave us the excellent giant monster film Godzilla, the one that was done in 1998. Just wasn't a particularly good Godzilla film. But yeah, Patrick Tatopoulos did the design for the Godzilla in that, and does the design of the dragon. And the dragon is not a beast. The dragon is an intelligent creature in this. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
it's got heart, it's got pathos, it's got some great characterizations, and I won't say anymore because it's going to enter into the realm of spoilers. But I really enjoyed it. You are free to hate it, internet, but that you won't take that away from me that I enjoyed that film, and Millie Bobby Brown is excellent in it.
Love it. Love it. Cool.
Lovely. Mr. Popcorn?
Yes. Okay. Shudder. Shout out Shudder. Hello, Shudder. They have released a little anthology called Satanic Hispanics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Like 2 out of the 4 are fucking fantastic, and the other 2 are pretty good, pretty good. But the why I recommend it is because it's my man Demian Ruckner, who has given us Terrified and my beloved horror film of recent years that The Bat and I watched along together recently. Had the pleasure of showing them, and that is When Evil Lurks. This is Demian Ruckner. He has a short film on it, which is, it involves a genius, Rubik's Cube, a phone light, and a whole bunch of spooky shit. And it's fucking great. This guy is a genius. He is, he's just one, in my opinion, one of the people that's just going to keep this genre ticking for the next 50 or so years, definitely, and just recreating itself. Yeah, because this guy is a true original, and and this is just another perfect example of why I love him so much, and gushing over him as I am now. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out. The Bat. Do you have anything that you've been watching recently?
I haven't seen too much recently, but if I would have to pitch a horror movie purely for nostalgic reasons, I'm gonna pitch Chernobyl Diaries because it was my first ever horror movie that I watched. It's about people visiting Chernobyl where the Chernobyl disaster happened, but this takes place in a world where people got affected by the radiation. And it's just about a group of people that get stranded there overnight and they just need to figure out how to get out. And I was shown it at a young age that I probably shouldn't have been watching it at because I got very scared. I'd never seen horror before, but my dad said, "Oh, you would enjoy this." I did not. I was scared as a small child, but I did very much enjoy it, and I would recommend it if you enjoy thrillers.
Okay.
Nice. I've never seen it.
Definitely should check it out.
Amazing. Do you know what it's on? I mean, you watched it as a child, so maybe not.
I'm not sure if it's on any
Just Google it.
services, but I do know that you can rent it on YouTube, or if you have YouTube Premium, you can watch it for free.
Ooh. Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I borrowed someone's YouTube. I rewatched it a few weeks back.
Oh, nice.
I find it interesting that there's a correlation between people that enjoy horror films as adults and them telling a story where it starts with, "I probably was too young to have watched this."
It's on the horror fan bingo card, I think.
I was truly so scared watching it for the first time, and now I watch it and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a good movie. And that's how I feel about most horror movies. is I would watch them when I was so young, and I'd be so scared that I would have to go to sleep with all the lights on. And now I just watch them for fun.
Yeah, like, oh, just recreation, just check on a little
Absolutely.
haunted house.
Studying
Exactly.
in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's interested, it's on Amazon Prime, it's on Google Play, it's on YouTube, it's on Apple TV, it's on Fandango at home, whatever that is. I've never heard of that one before. And it's on
Mhm.
Max, which I'm not sure
What year are you getting
HBO
there,
Max.
Barrett?
Okay.
Binge.
What year are you getting? Because I'm getting a bunch of different
2012.
results. 2012, that one. Yeah, I thought that was the one. Yeah, cool. Excellent. That's a really nice recommendation, actually, because I heard it was really good, but
good.
chilling. Because not a fun time. The old Chernobyl.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
And people go there today. People go there today as tourists. Yes, they
Yeah.
take the Geiger meters for the radioactivity, and before it gets to a certain point, they've got to backtrack. But it's that you can take a tour of Chernobyl. I saw that on that Dark Tourist series, I believe it was called. Yeah, which is also a good series to check out. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a story about it on what's that UK comedian Jack Whitehall Travels with My Father, and they went to visit it. And there's a hilarious story that they tell about traveling to Chernobyl. So that's the other side of it. Dark tourist, rich, posh tourist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What exactly happened, just in case no one actually knows out there? Because it did happen a while ago.
In Chernobyl?
Yeah, for those who have never heard of it.
Well, it was the meltdown of the nuclear power plant and the subsequent spreading of a lot of radiation across a wide area.
Absolutely. Like
Very bad.
Affected to this day the surrounding area. Like for more recent example, if you remember Fukushima, I think it was around 2012. There was the giant earthquake 9 on the Richter scale. Yes, Kiwis pay close attention to this sort of thing. And the tsunami, which we also pay close attention to. And that effect, that's it's 12 years later, and that's still not quite cleaned up, shall we say.
I'm pretty sure that Chernobyl happened in like 1985 or 1986.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's still like significant, like, do not go in this area, do not touch the trees here, don't touch the ground, throw away your clothes if you walk across this area, that sort of thing. So it's awful. Humans are terrible. We are a planetary disease.
Yeah.
True. Well, on a lighter note. I very, very late to this bandwagon, about 21 years late, in fact, to the Underworld series.
My
the shiny
fan.
bum series.
The shiny latex leather series, Underworld. I finally watched the first one. I love Kate Beckinsale. I'm a big Van Helsing fan, as trash as that film is. Yeah. I love that movie.
Had a werewolf. Had 2 werewolves.
It did. And guess what? So does Underworld. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought it was really fun. Obviously very Matrix-esque in their approach to this vampire werewolf feud. But if you haven't seen it, which I would say most people have by this point, check it out. It's really fun.
Yeah. Have you just seen the first one, Scream Queen?
It does. Yeah, but we do have all of them on disc, so I'm sure I will be watching them in the next few weeks.
Rise of the Lycans, the third one, which was shot in New Zealand. That's my fave out of the series. Yeah, if you like werewolves, that's the one. Yeah, that is definitely the one.
Yeah,
I do. I did in this movie, so that's huge.
No, that's that's great to hear. Yeah, no, I had a great time back in the day with those films, definitely. And they're a bit more British, aren't they?
All right. Well, I can hear you now. I'm sorry, it did cut out.
Okay.
It's the blackouts, it's the
all
internet, it's all happening.
It'd just be one of those. Yeah, I got to sit down and listen to this. I got to sit down and listen to this whole episode.
I have a gremlin.
Yeah, it's the gremlin. It's the evil popcorn gremlin.
Sorry.
Artists out there, we need
Uh.
some art. Yeah. Bring this creature to life. Yes, if you want to name it, go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because it does exist. The
Do,
screen. Oh, you're back. Okay.
did we want to go through that? Oh,
We did that.
it's funny because I don't know when.
That's cool. We did that. Yeah. I think we've
Oh,
done.
you did that? Amazing.
Unless you have anything extra that you prepared for.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Well, the gremlin goes nuts.
Tonight was the gremlin.
Thank you, Ken.
Let's
really
quit
was.
while we're ahead.
Yes.
Thank you, Ken.
Ahead.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you to the
Thank you so
bat.
much. Please come back.
Yeah, please come back. It's not always like this. We promise.
Yeah, usually there's not this many technical difficulties.
It really is.
Hopefully next time I'll be able to use my laptop so I can have a fun backdrop like the rest of
Ah, yes.
Yeah, maybe we should just go back to Evil Corp. It's fucking
Honestly,
it is a fun night. It is a fun night
I-
recording there.
Yeah.
I do think we should.
Yeah, shall we? Shall we? Yeah. Because the Zoom stuff.
I'll stop talking over you guys.
Yeah. It gives me
We'll all stop
anxiety.
talking
To be
over all of
honest,
us,
the whole
so,
thing
yeah.
gives me anxiety. I love recording with you, loving the podcast, but the Zoom thing gives me anxiety. It really does. Hello,
This is the
Kens. This is behind the scenes, Evil Popcorn After Dark.
It's like
After
the
everything's gone dark.
yeah.
Okay.
It's the uncut gems of podcasts.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Well,
Let's do that.
should we do our sign off then? What order are we going to do this in?
Well, maybe let's first, like our introductions. We'll flip it.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't. What was the? Just do the what?
The bat.
So, all right.
I was going to say, I do not remember the order.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, well, farewell, mortals. Hopefully I will be seeing you all again soon.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And you,
It's
Baron.
me.
Oh,
It's me.
yeah.
Good night, children. Go to bed. And no getting up for water.
Harsh. And this has been Mr. Popcorn. And no, I'm not keeping it buttery tonight. I'm keeping it cheesy. Yes, it's finally back, people. Yes, cheese popcorn is finally back in Woolies. I've bought 15 packets in the past 2 weeks. Yes, it's not just a gimmick, it's a lifestyle.
Oh,
I didn't know that existed.
before Scream Queen goes, popcorners, corn chip pop flavors are really good. There's this sweet, salty popcorners corn chip thing. Go and get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
yes,
and whoever produces that, sponsor us.
yes.
Yeah, we're also a popcorn review channel now as well.
That would be awesome.
On all
That would be
alignments, evil popcorn, good popcorn, neutral popcorn.
Chaotic
Well,
popcorn.
I'm Scream Queen, and this has been Chaos. So hug your teddy bears tight because you'll never know when they will Hulk out. That's all I have to say. Happy horror days.
Happy holidays.
See you later.
Happy horror. Go to bed.